Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today we are diving into the world of river cruising, which I'm very excited about. It's one of my very favorite ways of cruising. Today I am joined by Lori Smith. She is a business development manager with AmaWaterways, and I'm very excited to have her here and share all about what makes AmaWaterways a wonderful cruise line to be traveling the rivers of Europe and beyond with. So, Lori, thank you for being here today and take it away.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you so much for having me. And I can't wait to talk about river cruising and everywhere that we go. But a little bit about the company first. So we're known as the heart of the river. We're 23 years old. This is an honor that's been bestowed on AMA. We have the highest percentage of repeat cruisers coming back to AMA and coming back to our river cruise line. So I know we're doing something very special on board and keeping you coming back. We've got clients that are actually completing their rivers. I'm one of them. I'm trying to complete my rivers. I've got a couple of exotics left to do, but it's been a fabulous company to work for because the culture of the company, when you get on board, you really feel like family. So let's get started with where do we travel? This is a map of all the regions that we go to. Now, remember, river cruising is a little bit different than ocean cruising. Oceans take you to countries, but rivers are going to take you right through these destinations. And you see the heart of the destination. We stop in all of these beautiful ports, but I have a secret. I love all the large cities that we go to, but my favorite is truly the smaller, quaint towns that we go through. I don't know if Emma, you agree with that, but navigating these small little quaint towns are really, really special. Some of these towns have only 250 residents. So large cities, small quaint towns, and of course the gamut, we give you really everything. So
Mhm.
we'll start with some of our exotics. And maybe you didn't know this, but can I really go on a river cruise in Africa? Yes, on the Chobe River. Um, of course, we combine other itineraries, but we combine a 4-night river cruise with a land safari. You can gorilla trek in Rwanda. You can do Victoria Falls, the Rova, old-fashioned Rova train, steam train. So there's a lot of pieces that you add on to this product because it's not just a 4-night river safari, and it's all about seeing the animals. And you could really almost see 4 or even 5 of the big animals there on the Chobe River. And then we moved to the Nile River. And I'm going to tell you on the Africa product, only 28 guests on board. So very small, very intimate. On the Nile, only 78 guests on board. So very intimate as well. I did this itinerary in May of last year. I absolutely love it. If it's on your list to do, do it now. It's an 11-day program. We have 3 nights in Cairo. We have 7 nights on the Nile, and then we do that 1-night post. I highly recommend, we have a new Alexandria land extension that you can do on the back end as a post extension. But how about Jordan? 2 nights Petra, 2 nights Oman, or even Dubai. So there's a lot you can make this into almost a 16-night trip. If you're going that far, why not do it? It's a lovely, lovely product. And
Wow.
unlike the local guides in Europe on the storied rivers of Europe, your local guides that will stay on board with you are Egyptologists. So they're very knowledgeable, of course, highly educated. It was a treat. Inez was our Egyptologist, and she was fantastic. She loved asking. My husband is a history buff, and he retains a lot of history, and she would quiz him almost every day, and they had this banter that was just incredible. But she was so knowledgeable and so excited that someone was as excited as she was about the history. It definitely is a history lesson. I used to talk about the storied rivers of 2 and 3,000 years old. When you get to Egypt, you have a timeline of 10,000 years ago. go. And you have to stop and really think about it because it's just amazing, amazing.
Mhm.
How about the Mekong Delta, Vietnam, Cambodia? This is an incredible itinerary as well. Siem Reap to Ho Chi Minh or Ho Chi Minh back up to Siem Reap. This one stays quite full. It only accommodates 124 guests at a time. And of course, you can add on a 5-night Ha Long Bay, Hanoi extension, which I highly recommend as well. And those are actually select sailings are going to give you a 2-for-1 on that land. So if the Mekong has been on your list, we'll call it a bucket list, then highly recommend doing the Mekong. And then brand new for us, Emma, is Colombia, and it finally launched. We've been planning for this for almost 3 years.
Wow.
Our owner wanted to be on the Magdalena River in South America, and it is sailing. We're on our 6th month now of sailing. Our second vessel is going to be joining the Magdalena, the Melody. So the Ama Melody and the Ama Magdalena, both sister ships. And look how small and quaint it is.
Wonderful.
Only 60 guests at a time. So it's very different than when we're talking about the storied rivers of Europe. The look and feel on board. Here you have a couple of pictures. I won't take a lot of time on this, but isn't she beautiful? A lot of
Gorgeous.
the artwork, everything is from the destination, all the local artisans that have supplied our artwork, and of course, all the beautiful furniture, teak wood furniture. Very intimate, but all those splashes of bright colors because it's really indicative of being on the Magdalena River. There has not been a passenger vessel on the Magdalena in 37 years. So we're the first to put a vessel on the Magdalena. It's got a pool, of course. So Barranquilla to Cartagena, if you can see my mouse,
Mhm.
or opposite direction. So 7 nights, and of course you do have some extensions. Panama City, I highly recommend. I loved Panama City. I've
Yeah.
been there a couple of times. It's beautiful. Or Medellin, or even Cartagena. So make it into a 14-day with some land extensions. And then we talk about these beautiful rivers, but there are seasons along the rivers. You could have springtime, you could have summer, you can be on our product summer, fall or autumn. That is Oktoberfest and harvest for the wine, for the vineyards. Also Christmas markets. So
Mhm.
we sail from mid-February all the way through New Year's Eve. So we only have a month and a half that all the vessels are in dry dock.
Mhm.
Um, so we'll go now onto the storied rivers of Europe. So these are probably the rivers that you're most familiar with. The Danube River. We'll start with the Danube River, the upper and lower Danube. You can turn that into a 14-day and see both upper and lower Danube. We consider the upper Danube from Wilshofen to Budapest, and we consider the lower Danube from Budapest all the way out to the Black Sea, Georgiou. So each river is going to give a different personality. You could see in Vienna, you can go to the opera houses in Vienna. This is beautiful Budapest, which the Danube flows right through Budapest, Buda and Pest, on each side of the river. There's so much to see and do. Maybe a trip to Salzburg, a full day, and we call it the Sound of Music tour. So there's a lot of different options that we'll go into when we get about life on board of a river cruise. And then one of my favorites, this is one of my very first river cruises, the Rhine, Main, and Moselle rivers. Those beautiful castles that you see, you're going to see up to 46 in that scenic sail. Most of these have a part of the river that are UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So if you would like to see the beautiful storybook castles, the vineyards, this is the itinerary for you, and have great beer. Kolsch in Cologne, right?
Mhm.
Amsterdam, you get to go to the Delft factory. So there's a lot to see and do. The Mosel River is a piece of the river that we do from Trier, so heading down to Basel. So many, many options and lengths of sailings that you can do on the Rhine. So if your first time on a river cruise, the Rhine or the Danube, highly recommend. 7 nights, plus
Right. Of
pre and post, right? Pre and post land extensions.
course.
And of course, France. I absolutely love France. Unlike the Danube or the Rhine, that you may see 4 or 5 countries in one sailing, France, it's only one country, but the different regions offer so very much. Maybe you go to the Bordeaux region and have those fabulous Bordeaux wines, or maybe truffle hunting in the south of France. My favorite is Arles to Lyon or Lyon to Arles. It just northbound or southbound. Truffle hunting in Le Beau, which is one of my favorite little towns in France, because I love the wines of this region. And of course, we serve that regional wine on board, which we'll get to in just a bit. So I get to taste all the flavors of France when I get on a France cruise. And then what about the Dutch and Belgian waterways? Now, this is the Scheldt and the Maas rivers. As you can see, this beautiful picture, tulip time. It's a season along the Rhine, which is about a 3 to 4 week season. Fabulous time to be in Europe. And of course, you've got a stroopwafel at the top that I absolutely eat my way through the itineraries. And then here is the windmills. Maybe you've always wanted to go to the Netherlands just to see the windmills. So lots and lots of options. And then last region we'll talk about is the Douro. So the Douro, we call it the Panejo wine region. Incredible vistas. You see all the different color buildings, and all of that is tile. Emma, I collect blue and white ceramic.
You.
And it's just, I wanted to take a whole wall with me. In the train station in Porto, you're not looking and thinking you're going to see the beauty of the different tiles, but tiles were an insulation. They kept buildings cooler in the summer, and they kept the buildings also warmer in the winter. So the inside and the outside are tiled, which it was incredible for me to see. I thought if I could just take this whole wall with me, it would be fantastic. But it was one of my favorites. The vessel's very intimate. There is a lock that you'll go through. It's 250 meters, which is the second largest lock in the world. And of course, you scenic sail during the day because of how scenic it is. Incredible. And the wines that you will have, these are world-class wines. So as you can see, if you're looking for the storied rivers of Europe, if you're looking for one of our exotics, we can provide that. Over 33 itineraries. So
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit about our interest group, because we do this very, very well. Some of my competitors say that they have wine cruises. We go a step further. So our wine cruises, we have over 125 slated for 2026. And we have a North American host on board. And of course, it's a wine education. Tastings on board, off board, lots and lots of options. But also, we talked about Christmas markets. And Emma, you've been on a Christmas market, right?
No, I have not.
Oh, you have
It
not.
is
Oh my
at
goodness.
the top of my list, I'm telling you.
Yes, we need to get you on a Christmas market. It's
Agreed.
magical. And it's not all the brightness and the ting ting and everything that, have here. It reminds me when I grew up of an old-fashioned Christmas. And
Right.
the vessels are decorated. It's a festive mood. If you love Christmas, Christmas, but you're not crazy about the shopping, you don't have to shop. I eat my way through. The mugs that these ladies are holding here, that holds Glühwein. Glühwein is hot mulled wine, and
Mm.
it's different in every market. And of course, those mugs are highly collectible. But all the cathedrals are decorated, the squares, of course, but all the locals come out to be together, to enjoy each other's company. The kids are Christmas caroling. It's just a magical time to be there.
Mhm.
However, every time I've been to Christmas markets, it has snowed the last 4 times I've been. So that just adds, right, a whole
Yes.
new.
Adds to the magicalness of it all, right?
That's
Yes,
the last magical piece that we need. And then, of
absolutely.
course, we cater to our Latin speaking clientele. So we have our Latin touch cruises. We have 2 of those. We have 4 soulful experience that features Black history along Europe. So there's a lot of options for you. Maybe you want to play golf and didn't think that I could play golf on the Danube. Yes, on the Magnet. You can play up to 5 courses, world championship courses. These courses are about 45 minutes to an hour away from the Danube. So very easy access and beautiful. They're picked for their expertise, their how challenging they are, and how beautiful they are. So these are world class golf courses.
Mhm.
And then our celebration of music on the Danube. It has a music host instead of a wine host. And of course, you have 22 classical composers. Here you have the statue of Mozart, and here these beautiful concerts. But vignettes pop up when you're touring in Vienna or Linz, or we'll have a vignette that pops up for music. So if you're a music lover, this may be something for you.
Beautiful.
And then, of course, new for us, Smithsonian Journeys. We'll have 2 Smithsonian guides on board. This is new for us. We have 33 dedicated departures, and it could be featuring a museum or a region that we're sailing to. So these are incredible, additions to our portfolio. And then, of course, I love beer. I love wine that we serve on board, but I love beer. We go to some incredible beer regions, and we have 3 curated beer cruises. So maybe that's something that is interesting you, that along the Rhine and Danube, and then the Belgium and Holland waterways.
Mhm.
And then wellness. Now you can say, nope, Laurie, I am not exercising on my vacation. And you don't have to, but those that, because we do have a wellness host on board, so it is a specialty. You can get as active as you want or say, nope, not doing it. But I recently had a back issue, and I'm in Pilates 3 days a week, and I love it. I've grown to love it because it's keeping me out of surgery. But it's so nice stretching on the top deck and just doing a morning stretch. We all should be stretching, whether you're 89, whether you're 16, we should all be stretching and getting ready for the day. And it's beautiful going under these historic bridges and coming into the cities, and you're breathing in fresh air. So think about it, or maybe champagne yoga next time you're on
Oh,
board.
yes. I'm all down for that.
Yes, yes. So we're known for the luxury of space. Let's go on board and see what it's like to experience a river cruise on board. So we're known for the luxury of space, anything from 160 square feet all the way to 710 square feet. But we're known for our twin balconies. When Rudy Schreiner, our co-founder, designed these vessels, he decided that I really want to put the majority of our staterooms in a twin balcony because it gives you a fantastic offering of basically a wall of windows. So everything has its place. These staterooms are very well designed, average about 221 square feet, but you have a full veranda that you can sit out and have your coffee, or have a beautiful scenic sail out there, or French balcony. Maybe it's too cold, or maybe it's raining and you want to sit inside, but you still want to open up those sliding glass doors. You can't step out because you'll step into the water. But everything is so well designed in our staterooms that we have a place for everything. Your luggage stores under the bed, plenty of drawer space and hanging. We have bathrobes and slippers in all the staterooms. We have USB ports to hook up your electronics if you want to stay connected or not. be disconnected, right, and enjoy your
Yeah.
cruise. And of course, the bathroom with beautiful products, hair and body lotions, and then of course, blow dryers, those that big plushy bathrobes and slippers. So all the amenities of a five-star resort, but just using this vessel as a floating boutique hotel. So cuisine, I have to talk about cuisine. We talked about that regional wine that we include with lunch and dinner, a mimosa in the morning if you'd like. But all of our food is prepared fresh daily. We have a lot of farm to table items. So Emma, if clients are going through Dernstein, that's where we curate some of our cheeses and goat cheeses, different produce that we get. So we load those provisions daily and we never freeze food. So it's always freshly prepared. If your clients have a dietary restriction, we can help with that as well. So the food on board is absolutely fabulous. We do get very, very high marks for our food on board. And of course, we have the chef's table. That's an alternative dining restaurant, 4 to 6 course pairing with wine. So as you can see, we're very focused on food that we feed you. Of course, we have to. This is your hotel. This is the restaurants that you're going to be eating in. And of course, I promise you won't go hungry. We do have a sip and sell cocktail. That's included every night. Cocktails on Ama right before dinner. And this is a fun time for everyone to come together and talk about what they did for the day. Also, entertainment. We bring entertainment on board. It could be anything from glass blowing, a dance troupe, a lecture, a choral group, an opera singer. My last cruise in August, we sang the entire soundtrack of Sound of Music, and it
Oh,
was
wow.
so much fun. It was so much fun. So, a piano player, if you want to dance till 1 o'clock in the morning, but you're tired. You've been up all day doing exciting excursions. So, um, and talking about excursions, all of the excursions are included. So there are different levels, pace levels. We have our bicycle and hiking tours, and you get to choose. Maybe you decide one day, I want to do a city excursion and then I want to do a wine tasting, or I'd like to do a museum visit and then I'm going to take a bicycle out. So you have up to 5 choices in each destination. Some of those choices are very hard and they're all included. So everything I'm talking about is included. Our cruise manager, these are the maestros of our vessels, right? Of your cruise, making sure you're having a great time. I do not know when they sleep. Emma, they're up dancing on the dance floor with the last passenger, and they wake up with the first passenger having coffee in the morning. So
That's crazy.
um, they're there for you to, and especially if you're doing a land extension, you actually have the cruise manager that will stay in the hotel with you. So our land packages are a little bit different. We've got our 7-night cruises, but you can pick a 2, 3, 4, or land extension. And of course, it's daily touring. It's the cruise manager with you the entire journey, welcome reception, daily breakfast, and all of our hotels that we pick are in prime location for the location, 4+ 5-star properties. And then, of course, I talked about all of our product, but I didn't talk about the Ama Magna. She is our flagship. She only navigates on the Danube because she is double the width, 196 guests on board. But suites starting at 217 square feet going to 710 square feet. She does have a pickleball court on board, right? 4 restaurants, 4 bars, so very, very different. She does the entire Danube, upper and lower Danube, or you can break it in half and just do Warsaw, Budapest, and then Budapest to Georgiou in a different section. But if you
Mhm.
do the entire Danube, that's a 14-day, 9 countries in one sailing. That's the beauty of river cruising, seeing all countries in one sailing and only having to unpack one time, right? Using the vessel as a floating boutique hotel.
The best part.
Yes, it is the best part. So what's coming up with AMA? We're looking to the future. We will add 10 new vessels besides, well, 9 with the Magna. We in 2030, by 2030. We're very strategic, Emma, about how we add vessels to the portfolio. We don't add as many as, maybe one a year. So we're slated for 10 new vessels by 2030. I can't even say that, but I tell you,
Wow.
this year has flown by. It's going to be here before you know it.
Yep.
And very purposeful of how we put those vessels, because all of our vessels are green certified in Europe, which means that we are living by the most stringent on the river to keep the rivers beautiful and clean. You could really almost drink water out of the Rhine. They're working on the Danube, but we all strive to keep the rivers very, very clean. So a couple of promotions I'll throw out here. These are good through December 31st, but we run promotions quarterly. Our early booking rewards, we are completely loaded through 2027. So anything, even in December of 2027, we book up. Remember, we only have a few passengers on board, not many, so we need to book early. You can put a deposit down and your final will not be due until 90 days prior. So heavy discounts, early booking, and good through December 31st. Also military, any of our military out there, it's an automatic 250 reduced discount. Also, that's for active or inactive. So if you're retired, you can take advantage. All of our promotions are combinable. That's the beauty of AMA. And then, of course, we have some of our hot dates, and Emma has access to this that gives some really huge discounts in the year that you're sailing. So, Emma, that is AmaWaterways in a nutshell.
That's a
Anything?
nutshell.
I know.
That's fabulous. So I will just say that I got my mom hooked on AmaWaterways. Her first cruise was a Danube Christmas markets several years ago. And she absolutely adores you. And she just completed her fifth, I think, cruise. She did the
Wow.
Douro earlier this year. But yeah, she absolutely loves you guys, and she swears by your service and the quality of the tours and the ships, etc. So she is like your biggest advocate.
And that is not unusual. I have the pleasure to work for this company. I love river cruising and I'm finishing my rivers. I really feel like, but I've done the different rivers at different seasons and it's a
Right.
whole new experience. And every time I
Yeah,
do, this is my seventh time on the Danube and I learn something every time I go on the Danube. So
I bet. Yeah, that's my number one. I want to do the Christmas markets for sure. But very excited about, the Magdalena River and obviously your exotics. I mean, like doing a safari and going on that boat and seeing the elephants just right there is
absolutely,
spectacular. So,
absolutely.
yeah, I do have a question for you though.
Yes, yes.
I have a lot of like single people who travel. So what do you do for solos?
Yes, thank you for asking that. We don't penalize our solos. Most companies charge 200%. Ours start at we have four vessels that have two solo staterooms that have no single supplement in
Okay.
France. Our twin balconies start at 110%, 125%, or 150%, which is basically 50% or 10%. So
Right.
that's the solo supplement.
That's great. That's great. I know that you guys are really good. Actually, many cruise companies are getting a lot better with solo travelers. So it's always
Yes.
nice to see because, a lot of us, if we travel by ourselves, we don't want to pay twice as much.
Absolutely. And we take very good care of our solos.
Yeah.
They actually get to dine with the captain. So
Oh, la-di-da.
yes. So we do a lot of special things with our solos and we love having our solos. They're not solo for long because they get adopted by groups on board and everybody,
Yes.
they become long lost friends for these with everyone on board. So
Yeah.
we take very good care of our solos.
You do. You do. Even as, like if you have two people traveling together in the same room, they're technically still solos or singles, even though they're traveling with somebody, but they also get adopted into groups. That's been, my mom's experience when she travels as well. So she always comes
Absolutely.
back with more friends than she left with.
Absolutely, and that's a testament to on board, right?
Yeah,
And of course,
exactly.
we all adopt our solos, but
Yeah,
it's a beautiful product. I hope you get to experience it. If it's on your list to do, don't wait. Remember, you
exactly.
need to book early with Emma. She's got all the promotions. I send her promotions monthly, so she's got all the latest information that she needs in order to make your trip truly incredible.
Yeah, agreed. And I would just bookend that by saying that, a couple of the more popular destinations right now are the Christmas markets and also the Douro. So if either of those are on your list, I would highly consider looking now for 18 months to 2 years away because
Yes.
availability is extremely limited. Um,
Right.
yeah,
And you put a
definitely.
very small deposit down, $400
Yeah,
per person, and then you don't have to worry about it until 90 days prior when you pay your final
exactly.
payment.
Yeah,
Yes.
AmaWaterways is great. They don't take your money up front like some other people do.
We do not. We do not.
Yes,
But thank
exactly.
you for having me. Thank you for letting me share the product that I love so much. And I hope to see some of your clients come on board because I know they'll have a fantastic journey and they're going to be looking for their next cruise.
Absolutely. I concur 100%. You guys know how to do it right. So I appreciate you taking the time to be here,
Thank
Lori.
you.
Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for sharing Alma Waterways with us.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. And I'll see you later. Thank
All
you.
right, thank you.
All right. Bye bye.